privilege to talk with a Gen Zer. Oh, yes. Very rare do I get to spend time with them. Uh, Today we have Macy Baxi, who runs the Why I Love Flagler podcast. She today has over 150 episodes, is very big in our community because of her podcasting skills. So I'm fortunate because I'm going to get to learn a little bit. Plus, I'm going to get to find out about her. So I'd like to say welcome, Macy.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. I'm really honored as well.
Awesome. Well, so today we're going to talk about, I know recently you went on a cruise, and to me that's interesting because most of the time we book cruises for the elderly, and it's very rare that someone of your age will come on a cruise, and really my goal is to find out how you enjoyed it. So
Sure.
first of all, what inspired you to go on this cruise?
My parents really wanted
Yeah.
to go and they were like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Not necessarily." And they're like, "No, we want it to be a family vacation." So I was like, "Okay, sounds good. I'll go then." So that's kind of what inspired my dad's been wanting to go for a while on another cruise I've been before, but yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's great to hear. So, of course, many families take vacations together. So, but it's interesting. It's going to be interesting because of your age and what your differences are between your parents and yourself. It's going to be
Mhm.
interesting to hear. So, how did you guys decide on the cruise line and the itinerary?
I'm pretty sure with the help of you, I think you helped them out a lot. But I think we typically like Carnival a decent amount because Carnival has a really big Indian staff, but also options. So like food and stuff. My dad's been on a few, I think he's mostly only been on Carnival cruises and they've served him well. So I think that's really what they wanted Carnival for that reason, but it could be wrong.
Yeah, and that's for everyone to know that your dad's very specific about his food and how you guys as a family eat. So obviously, dining is a big part of cruising. So
For sure.
that's interesting to hear. What were your expectations before you got on the cruise?
I don't think I had much. I had been on a cruise before when I was maybe 14, maybe 15, so a good 5 years ago, if anyone wants to do the math on my age. So it was just like a different experience, given, where I was in life and everything. When I was like 15, I was probably more obsessed with my phone than I am now, so I was fine. And I think I just wanted to like go and enjoy some time. I like serenity more than I did, I think, when I was 15. So I was like, all right. I think the expectation usually when we go on family vacations is all four of us spend all like every single minute together, as we normally do in real life as well. So I think that was my expectation is that we're probably going to do a bunch of things, which didn't end up being the case.
Awesome. So when you guys first, let's talk about when you first got on the ship. What was your impression of the ship?
Um, Before I got on the ship, it was big. I don't know what I remembered. I think I don't remember anything of how I got into the ship when I was 15, but I was like, wow, there are so many like steps that I have to complete before I get on the ship. But the ship itself, like once I got onto the ship, was pretty much exactly how I remembered it from 5 years ago of, the atrium, and I had an idea of the sizing and stuff. I think walking from one end to the other end of the ship was like a lot longer than I remember. So I think those are the first few things that popped in my brain.
Cool. How was your cabin? Was it okay
It
for the
was
four of
good.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my cabin was a lot. I'm pretty sure last time we took a cruise, we were like on the bottom, like maybe floor 3 or 4. And so it was very dark, is what I remember for obvious reasons.
Yes, the
But
inside
this
cabin.
time I think we were on floor 11, so we were all the way up there. So we had a balcony and it was really nice and it was a lot brighter and there was my parents had their bed and then my brother had the bottom couch and then I had the bunk on top. Because I wanted to be on top. I don't really know why. I just want to be there. And I was like, sounds good. And yeah, it was nicer. I think it was a little bit bigger than I had thought it was gonna be, which sounds like a weird thing to say for a cruise ship, but I think the other time I was on a ship, it was very small in my memory. So this one
Yes.
felt bigger.
Yeah, and then, just to keep in mind, that is the ship you went on is a small ship today because there's newer ships that are just
Right.
huge. So
Gigantic.
you haven't seen anything yet. I
Oh
could tell you.
gosh.
So we talked about dining. How was the food?
I loved the food. I was actually really pleasantly surprised with how much I liked the food. There was a lot of variety. I typically stuck to breakfast, and then dinner, like the dining experience. I didn't really have as much on like the what's it called, the Lido deck.
Right.
Though the first day we were there, we were really hungry and we were there at like 1 o'clock. So we did go to like the barbecue place and me and my brother were obsessed with the mac and cheese. I really liked the coffee there. I didn't splurge and spend like $9,000 on an iced coffee every single day, which was a huge restraint on my part because there's nothing I love more than like a nice cup of iced coffee. But I was like, it's fine. I won't spend the money, father. It's fine. It's fine.
Father.
I was so kind. But the one thing I did ask to buy though is we did the tea party, which was the second day, so the day at sea, like 3 to 4 o'clock, and we did that, and that was something I put on my list. I was like, I know it's there and I want it. And then I found out after I didn't even have to pay for the tea if I just got like normal free tea, and I was like, oh, oopsies. But I like the tea, and the sandwiches are really nice, and I'm really excited. And I really liked that one. So that was my favorite dining experience. It sounds random.
No, that's cool. I don't know if I even know if I've ever been to a tea
You
party.
should. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's so good. Like the scones, I've had scones before, but like terrible ones. Except ones I've made. I've made scones before and they were great. But like the scones and the cream, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I needed five more. So I really enjoyed it. And then I also had I one thing I really liked is because it's all like free, is you can just try whatever you want. And I love trying new things. So I was a fan of that.
Oh, awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, and I know you love to bake, so I'm
I
sure you
do.
got a few ideas. Um,
Sure.
I know it was a shorter cruise, so did you guys get off the ship, like in Bimini, or
Yep, we
how
got
was
off the
that?
ship for Nassau and Bimini. We've all been to Nassau before, so we didn't do any tours. We didn't do anything crazy. None of us, I don't think, wanted to. Like I had absolutely no interest. Like if they had said, "Oh, we're gonna go to a tour," I probably would have said, "Not me. Just I don't want to go on one." So we just walked around Nassau for maybe 2 hours. So like 10 to 12, I want to say maybe, or like 11 to 1, somewhere around that time range. And we just walked around and it was really nice. And I just liked looking at everything. And we went into a few shops. A friend of mine, her husband is Bahamian, and she's like, you really need to try guava puff, I think, or something like that. So I did, and I found someone who made it for me, and it was really good, but it was just a lot, so we didn't finish it. It was like
Yeah,
one to all four of us, and I think there was still like a quarter left, but I was like, I don't want to finish this. But it was
yeah,
really great otherwise. And then I had a good time. We just went back on the ship and relaxed. But Bimini as well, we just walked around for like not even an hour because we didn't
yeah,
want to like go all around the island. Um, we just were walking in the pedestrian places.
yeah. Oh, that's nice. The Bimini's a beautiful island.
Yeah, it's really nice to just look at.
So getting into on the ship, how did you find the hospitality, the service from anyone from your room attendants to the waiters? I mean, was it pleasant?
Yeah, no, it
They were
was
nice.
great. There were a lot of people that were really kind. I just realized you can't really see it, it's hidden behind my diffuser, but you see the little gold thing like right here?
Yeah.
That's from my cruise because
Oh,
I won it. So we went in May and I completely forgot because this is not something I think about, but it's AAPI, Asian American Pacific Islander Month. And so they had a bunch of random stuff for AAPI in May, and I found it the best thing ever. Like the book with the library had a bunch of AAPI books. They had Mahjong, and I was like, whoa, they're going all out. And so they had a AAPI quiz. Is that what it's called? Trivia. Trivia is what it's
trivia.
called. So me and my mom did it, and we won, as you can tell, and it was a really fun experience. All of the attendants there were really kind and really fun and a lot really energetic. A lot of the wait staff was pretty much everyone was really nice and really accommodating, especially when my dad was asking questions and grilling them. I think half of them, a lot of them were Indian anyway, so it was really easy for us to talk to them. So yeah, it was really great.
Awesome. And that, so another question, the thing I was thinking about is, so here you are, you're Gen Z, you're on a boat. Did you meet other people your age? And were you
I
able
mean,
to
me
meet
and
anybody?
I didn't meet anyone, but I saw a lot of people my
Right,
age or in my age range. So I'm under 21,
right,
which makes life only a little bit difficult because I can't do things that are under 18 and I can't do
right,
things over 21. So I
right.
live in this weird gray zone. And they did have every single night like some 18 to 20 mixer, but I never went because I never felt
Right.
like it. There was like other
Yeah,
things I was doing. But they had like movie night on the decks, and there was a lot of people around my age, I want to say. It's like a decent amount. I don't think I ever was like, whoa, no one here is my age. I don't know.
right. Yeah, and again, there's a lot of options. Like my wife and I, when we cruise, we don't do a lot of the activities. We like to relax and sit on our balconies and things like
Yeah,
that. So I understand where you're coming from. Cruising's time to kind of chill and just recharge. And
right.
speaking of recharging, here's interesting. So how you live and die by the internet? Were you able to be on your phone on the internet?
I didn't use my phone,
See,
or the internet. No.
now that is very surprising, number one. Number two, that's how you're supposed to enjoy a cruise. Leave your
Right.
phone, leave your work, and you're supposed to go and vacation. So
Right.
that hats off to you. That I would have never guessed that.
Really?
Yes,
Guess
I
who
would have
had the
thought.
internet in our family?
I'm sure your father had it because
It was my dad who had the internet, and I don't think he even offered me really the internet package. He's like, "Do you think you need it?" And I was like, "No." There was like maybe like in Nassau, my data worked, but I didn't. It wasn't good enough for me to actually use it, so I didn't really
right.
even use it. But I mean, I used my phone. The one thing I was looking forward to was reading, so I read two books on the cruise. Um,
Wow.
and so I listened to music, and that was all I really used my phone for. And then I had a bunch of books downloaded on my phone as well. So when we were just waiting around, I would just read on my phone as well. So I think people may have thought I was always on my phone, but unfortunately, no, it was just some book I was reading.
Oh, that's interesting. That's I wouldn't have guessed that.
Oh, I'm a
So
big reader. Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, I listen to a lot of books because I when I drive, I love to listen.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything you wish you had known before you went on the cruise that would have helped you?
I don't
Something that
know.
surprised you, maybe that I wasn't planned for this or I didn't expect this.
I don't know. I don't think so. I would say the thing that no one ever really knows that I always tell them is the tea party. I
Right?
always
Yeah.
tell them to go. That's my favorite part. I don't know if there's anything else. Maybe if you care a lot about excursions, that's something you want to look into. You can't really pre-plan too much before you get on the cruise, but I think when you get on the cruise, you can look on your app and see what activities are going on, and just try to plan as well as and accordingly. I think that's about it because like I didn't really do much. Like I ate and then I read a book. This book, what is it? I read like 400 pages of that book. And then I
Wow.
read another book because I finished it too quickly and I was like, darn, I have a full day now. Let me go read another book. Um, I this is something that I learned is they have a lot of game shows on the ships, but the game shows are just like gambling. But I didn't realize how much gambling was involved in these games. So I was like, oh, I'll go watch them do a deal or no deal show. Sounds fun. But then I got really, really stressed out because I was watching people gamble and it was stressing me out so much. I had to leave. I was like, I don't
Wow.
want to be here. I'm getting stressed out. Like the whole like do I take the briefcase or do I not? And like the guy only won like $5 and it stressed me out so much. I was like, I'm leaving here. I can't do this. I'm like
Oh,
upset for him. I can feel the disappointment and I need to leave this room.
wow. Well, that's interesting. Yeah.
I have a
Yeah,
lot of
there are,
empathy in my heart.
yeah, and then there's some late night game shows that are kind of weird and creepy. So
Yeah.
glad you didn't attend any of those. Um, so now that you've been on this cruise, are you going to do another cruise in the
It's the
future?
funniest thing ever. My friends and I were just talking about another cruise. Because this sounds the most absurd thing ever. My friends and I are watching 911, or I finished the show, but my one friend, we finally convinced her to watch it. And so in season seven, the opening, first four episodes are dedicated to two characters going on a cruise, and then the cruise crashes. Not crashes, but it like sinks. It's a whole thing. Anyways, so then my friend is like, "Oh my gosh, we just watched this." She's like, "Should we all go on a cruise together?" And I'm like, such a weird thought to have. But
After seeing that,
now she's Googling all the cruises and she's like, "Where should we go?" And I'm like, "Are you serious?" So I guess that's your answers. I guess I'm gonna go on a cruise with my friend who watched a cruise crash. That's like if I watched the Titanic and was like, let me go on a cruise. That was
yeah.
actually I had watched the Titanic finally like 2 months ago. So when I went on the cruise, I was like, wow, this is just like the Titanic. And I started info dumping to my parents about the Titanic, and they're like, this is not the Titanic. And I'm like, don't
Yeah.
worry about it. But here's where everything would have happened. And they're like, no. I'm like, yes. So yeah, I guess that was the most exciting part for me.
That's funny. That is funny. Obviously, your friend needs a travel agent.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna
When
use
she gets
me on.
real serious about it, I'll let her know
Yeah.
because it's starting to get serious for her. She's like, "Oh, I found out they all leave Cape Canaveral." And I'm like, "Yes," because she's from Texas.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they leave out of Texas too.
They leave
But
out of Galveston.
yes,
See, I know stuff too.
yeah. Although the storm might hit there soon, that
Oh,
big
that's
hurricane.
bad.
Yeah, so I wouldn't do it anytime during
No, she's
the
in Europe
summer
right
here.
now, so it's fine.
Good, good. Well, listen, Macy, thank you so much.
Thank
I've
you.
learned a lot. I am so happy that you came on my podcast. And I would like to, could you just give us your a link to your podcast
Yeah.
and some of the things you're doing?
Yeah, of course. You can find any information about me under Macy Baxi. Thankfully, it's a pretty unique and easy name. So you just Google it and you find my Instagram, my LinkedIn, my Facebook, my YouTube channel, all of that good stuff. And then I'll make sure I give the links to John as well so he can put it in the description and all that great stuff.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this. I've been waiting for this because we've planned this for a while, so I'm glad
Yes,
it happened. So thank you for taking your time out of your day.
of course.
And from all of us in the travel industry, keep on traveling.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. I really loved being on here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.